in your body.
I know, and I'm just freezing.
Okay, so this week is better than last week.
It's better than last week, yeah. It went better. It's, although I do find I'm definitely dealing with, like, the death of who I know myself to be.
The fake identity.
Yeah.
Which is super entitled and reliant on food and...
Absolutely.
Have you found that you're conflicting with that old ego?
Absolutely.
Like, what's the point? Why am I doing this?
Yes.
What do I need to do this? And do you stop yourself and go, done?
I have.
Good.
And then I haven't. Like, I'm like going, well, and then I was eating something like on Thursday, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, who is this doing this? And that was new, like, just to say, like, who is this? Because it wasn't me. I didn't need to eat it, so I stopped.
Did you even like what you were eating?
I doubt it. I don't even remember what it was.
So you're just eating.
How, like, oblivious I was to it. And I was like, ugh.
How often are you finding that you're catching yourself eating?
I catch myself all the time. Like, I know I catch myself when I walk into the kitchen. Like, when I walk in,
and
it's just like,
what am I doing here?
It's like, why did I come in here? You know,
okay.
I mean, even for the weekend, because, like, I had to make stuff for Easter this weekend, you know.
How did that go?
It was good. I was making the cheesy potatoes. I love potatoes. I love cheesy potatoes.
So do I, with bacon on top.
Oh my gosh.
Cheese, maybe some corn, crunchy corn chips or...
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anything.
Welcome to America.
Yes. But I was like going, I made 2 big batches of cheesy potatoes. It's fine. I didn't eat any of those. I had ham.
So when it's obvious, you kick ass.
Yes.
It's the non-obvious moments that you're struggling with.
Non-obvious. Exactly. The obvious stuff, I'm like going, this is like no big deal to me. Like making those potatoes, no big deal. I could have cared less. Just really cared less. I was like going,
so you kicked butt
weird.
On Easter.
Yeah, and then eating Easter.
How about last night? You know, sometimes what I found when people do that, they tend to sabotage at night when it's over.
Oh, yes.
When it's gone, and you're like,
do that.
Did you last night?
Yes.
Gosh, let's figure this out. Because help me
like
figure this out.
I was like going, why did I just do that? After I was good all Easter day.
Well, hold on. What you just said tells me good meaning. Tell me your description of good. Like you just didn't eat without hunger.
Right.
Did you try the cheesy potatoes?
No.
Did you want the cheesy potatoes?
Yeah, I wanted them. I mean, I wanted them, but not like it wasn't something I was like going, oh, I just better have a bite or,
Well, if you're hungry and you wanted them, maybe the fact that you felt like you're just not going to.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna.
That set you. Did you have them later in the evening?
No.
So what did you eat last night?
I ate pizza.
Were you hungry?
Yes, I was hungry.
Okay.
So, but I overate.
Okay. Well, did you overeat intentionally?
I don't think so, because I ate it super fast.
So were you too hungry?
No, I knew I wasn't too hungry, but I was sitting in my chair that I always sit in, and I was like going, and I had like a piece, and then I ate another piece really fast. Like and the thought was, I'm just going to eat this because I can. Because it's sitting here and I'm going to eat it. And I was like, okay.
Interesting.
It's like there was no stopping it.
You have these games you're playing.
Yes.
With
Totally.
yourself, and there's no purpose to the game whatsoever at this point.
No purpose at all to it. Now, this morning I got up, I made some coffee, I
wonder if it was reward last night. I'm so sorry. I'm still back into like...
It could have been.
You felt good, you felt confident about how the day went, and then all of a sudden you're like, and so I'm going to reward myself with this pizza, even though I don't want it.
Yeah.
You didn't necessarily want it intentionally. It was just, I'm just going to eat it. How about if I don't eat this now, let's get rid of it? Was it one of those things, let's get rid of it?
No, because there's 2 more downstairs.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with that.
didn't need to get rid of it. I do that with potato chips, though. I do that. Well, I might as well just eat them to get rid of them.
Well, that's because you're vulnerable to those. Because you got to get rid of them, otherwise.
Yeah, that's the thing I do that with. But no, the other stuff, like that pizza's been down there for 2 months or whatever since I've started. And then all of a sudden last night, I'm like, I'm having pizza.
There was no trigger. Nothing. No irritability, no decompression, no family stress.
No. I mean, seriously.
You were hungry.
I was hungry. I knew I was hungry.
Well, did you get full to where you're like, oh my God, I ate too much?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
And it was the second piece?
Yes.
So were you not content after the first?
No. I wasn't.
Physically?
Physically.
So then that's probably why you ate the second, and next time just slow down. It doesn't sound like you really had a malicious or a real biased intent with that slice of pizza. You ate too fast.
Yeah, and I knew I ate too fast. Like I was like going, I just ate that way too fast.
And then it hit really hard.
Yeah, and it hit very hard. Like I was like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. Okay. And it made my stomach hurt. Like I had a stomach ache.
So now, going back, if you could have pizza again tonight, would you do the same thing?
Oh, no.
Let's try it.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah, give yourself a do-over. Do it again. Prove to yourself that you can do it differently. I don't know. I think sometimes part of the process is practicing. If you could get a do-over, would you do it again?
Would you do it the same?
Well, you basically just said no.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Because there really was no...
I mean, I could have a piece.
There wasn't nothing complex about it. It's just slow down. After you had one piece, you were still hungry.
Yeah, at least I thought I was.
Well, so I'm wondering if you were just trying to end at dinner. Be done with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been. I was just... like the first piece, though, I hardly remember eating.
So you just scarfed it down.
I did. So I don't know if I was, and I just couldn't tell, like, was I just that hungry? Like, I thought, oh, I'm just hungry, and I just ate it? Because I wasn't conscious of that.
Were you eating with your family?
No.
So you're by yourself?
I was by myself. Yeah.
I wonder if this was just modeling binge behavior without the emotions attached. Because usually when people binge, they are scarfing it down.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I scarfed it. I mean, I was like, okay.
So it was physically mimicking a binge, but emotionally there was no attachment to it.
No, I didn't like...
There was no trigger.
No, I didn't.
That's why you're so stinking confused.
I know, I was like,
and why I'm confused.
How come I didn't have like some big fight or something, or I didn't have some, emotional thing going on? There was no emotional thing going. Easter was we had a good time, and it was,
Well, tell me this. Let's look at the big picture of the whole week since I've seen you last.
Okay.
How often are you intentionally eating for emotional reasons? Like, can you count? Is it really that often? And compare it to what it was before your protocol.
Oh, yeah.
Very different?
Very different. Very, very different. It feels more like habit. Like a habit I have rather than even...
It's not intentional, I'm going to go. It's just like, you were so close. Lisa, you were so freaking close.
And I had a lot of emotional crap going on last week after, I was like, my life is falling apart. Well, my life isn't falling apart.
I know, isn't that the truth?
Yeah, it just feels that way.
I know.
It's like, whoa. And I had a couple nights of, like, crying and just for crying's sake. And so, and then I ate, like, later. Like, I didn't do that then.
You didn't when you wish you would have or could have.
Or when I thought, see, I had an excuse. But I didn't do it.
So now it's like, after the fact. I want you to go back to your trip to Mexico. Mm-hmm. Because you were so functional in that environment.
Oh, yeah.
But you didn't have your typical triggers.
No.
You didn't have the downtime. It was like a totally different environment, different routine.
Yep.
Now you get back to your routine and you're getting back to some of the old triggers. Yes. So a lot of it, like if you were in Mexico... if you were in someone else's house,
different. I'd have been fine.
Yeah, so I wonder how much of your behavior is just based on now physiology.
Yeah.
Where it's
not
emotionally caused, you're reacting based on, it's like the smoker who goes to smoke at 3 even though they really don't need to, and they don't have, they just are going, oh, a cigarette.
Yeah, I should do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I thought about on Friday, I was like going, I should rearrange my family room. Like, I need to get rid of this chair. Like, I thought of that.
I wonder if you're starting to get itchy. Like,
it does. It drives me crazy.
You need to find a replacement for food. I think, do you feel like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to help you figure this out. Where you're starting to get anxious and irritable. Yep. If you went to food, but here's the thing, we kind of took that out because if you don't need it emotionally, you're not having an emotional issue and you're not hungry. Now you're aware of it. You're choosing not to eat. And it's not that hard.
Right. It's not that hard. But
you're getting that irritable, antsy, got nothing to do. I totally get that feeling.
The fact of the matter is I do have stuff to do. Like I have.
But is it stuff you want to do?
I have always had stuff to do. So, well, I mean, I hate cleaning my house, so that's not something I'm gonna do.
Got it. Got it. But rearranging stuff is
I like to rearrange stuff and then organize.
Some of that is nesting.
Yeah, I like to do that. I like getting that.
Well, then do it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you had done that, if your eating behavior would not have
changed. Yeah, would have subsided or
wouldn't even have occurred. You wouldn't have had the trigger or that kind of reaction to it.
Yeah, that could be.
You are just seriously.
Yeah, and literally, I was like going through this week, like going, okay, like I get this fear I have, and like facing that fear, and that it's nothingness, like there's really nothing there, and all this stuff, and I was like going, okay, still it didn't make me want to eat. But then last night I was like, why is this going on?
You really need to pick it apart. I can't do it for you. I wish I could. I wish there was all of the where you're bored. A lot of it is reward decompression after
Yeah,
and I eat.
I think it was a little bit of that decompression thing too, because it was like, I got up at early and
it's like a letdown.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, now I'll just. I'll have pizza. It's like, yeah, I'll have pizza.
Okay, when you smoked, would that have been when you went outside, had a cigarette by yourself?
And a drink, yeah.
And a drink.
Yeah.
And basically...
Yeah, I would have. That's exactly what I would have
because that's kind of what I'm thinking this is what that is.
Yep.
Well, this is going to be so easy for you.
That is, now that you say that, I was like, well, that is so what I would have done.
It's the feeling. It's the same. I just need to
Yeah, I just need to relax.
It's like me in my home decorating magazines or just... You know what I mean? Just something that's numbing. Where it's just nothingness.
Nothingness.
It's kind of a way to distract yourself. But the problem with that is that you need to be comfortable just with nothing.
Right.
And I catch a lot of times I just daydream. Got issues with ADD. But I think just being aware that feeling is the quiet moment.
Yes.
We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
It's like the moment you're alone.
I had lots of those. Where I was like, this is it right here. But it was during my all-day work day and then doing what I always do when I get home and da-da-da, and then sitting I was like, oh, this is what that is. It's that alone thing. Okay.
You know what?
I can be there. I can do this.
And you did.
Yeah,
and some of it you cried through, and then you'd go eat.
I cried.
Honestly, I think what you're being tested right now, Lisa, to do, you're now no longer kind of filtering out and getting rid of shit. You now need to be creative.
Oh.
This is the work part.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to... I'm kind of getting to that. It's okay, well, you've been... the thing with cigarettes and the thing with food and the thing with a lot of what we as adults do, it's so passive. Because we want to be taken care of somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have mom brushing our hair for us in the morning and fixing our food.
I wish.
And it's kind of like that cigarette and that cocktail just takes care of you for just, it's like something.
Just for that moment in time
to
really.
take the burden of whatever it is.
That is what that pizza was last night. It just took care of me in that moment of time, or at least that's what I thought.
It is what you thought, because it's not real. It didn't really do anything. Whatever it is.
That is what that pizza was last night. It just took care of me in that moment of time, or at least that's what I thought.
It is what you thought, because it's not real. It didn't really do anything. Well, and that's the part that you're like,
oh. Made me sick to my stomach. I was like, it made my stomach hurt. I'm like, oh, that didn't take care of me at all. What the heck?
Yeah. Well, okay. So what I think what you need to think of is before you started smoking, what did you do for fun?
Oh.
When there's downtime, like what did you do before food or smoking or alcohol? Like as a kid, what would you have done? You would have called a friend, gone outside, you would have...
Oh yeah, we went outside a lot. Like outside a lot.
And you were creative and kids play.
We played.
It's boring. Playing to us is boring. So we need to find, like it's not like you're going to go outside and do cartwheels.
No, which I so won't.
I do.
Yeah. I just so won't do that.
Get on the trampoline and jump.
Yeah, no, because I usually pee in my pants then. I was like, no, I can't get on the trampoline
So
anymore.
I think what you need to do, it's like, those are moments that you're really being tested to actually, like when you said, I think maybe I should rearrange. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I was like,
Oh. Yeah.
You are feeling that way,
yeah.
which is easy to medicate with. It's like, I'll just go out and smoke a cigarette.
Yes.
It's really fun. It's kind of social.
And I like it.
It feels good. You're thinking while you're smoking this,
Yes.
it's like kind of like a moment with yourself.
Yep.
That's what food was. We took that away, and now you're sitting there kind of like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Now what? And so the fact that you were itching, and I call that itching, you're like, oh, I gotta get on my skin. There's gotta be something.
There's something. I gotta do something. Do something.
And don't you wish you had those days where you just work like a horse and you just can like go home and relax?
Yes.
Whereas if you don't have that, like work like a horse, relaxing feels like crap.
Yeah.
It feels like the itchy kind of, I gotta crawl out of my skin.
I didn't do anything
irritability, and then the food, and then you're like, you're entertaining yourself.
Yep.
Okay, so you need to rearrange. You should have rearranged. Go repaint a room. Like, go pick a room and redesign it.
Yeah, no, I don't paint, but I will redecorate stuff.
Well, that's one way to do it, but you need to have something that you get excited for downtime, because it's like, ooh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Well,
the one thing I haven't been doing, which is actually I love doing, is teaching my laughter yoga stuff. I love doing that, and I haven't been doing it. I stopped.
Is that something that you do? When do you teach people to do the laughter yoga?
I used to have a weekly class, and then
would you tell other people, when you're feeling this way, maybe you should try this?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Lisa.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Can you try it this week and see if it works?
Yeah, and I'm teaching a class on Wednesday night, so I was like, all right, sweet. Because it gets me back into that's right, I could just laugh. Oh, yeah.
Think of something silly.
I forgot. Oh, you don't even think of something silly. That's
you
what I teach.
You just laugh.
Yeah, you just laugh. You fake it till you make it.
And then you start laughing at yourself.
And then you really start laughing for real.
Yeah. I was reading something there. Like, then you start laughing. Oh, there was a whole, science about it. Like, if you just laugh. Oh, it was on one of those daytime doctor shows. And they were talking about laughing. Mm-hmm. The doctor was like, yeah, you just fake it.
Yeah.
And it was Dr. Gupta.
Yeah.
He wrote about it or talked about it.
Yeah. Because he knows Dr. Kateria, who's the guy who invented it and who I trained with.
I love it.
Yeah, and I was like well, see there.
It's the
Dr.
truth.
Gupta does it too. I was like, all right. Yes, I saw that actually. So, yeah. And I, there's stuff that I just forget. All of a sudden I was like, well, duh, I could go laugh.
Well, I think part of it is that's the holding yourself responsible to take care of yourself. But if it's something that you love and like to do, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So we have to find something that, that you really get you going, that you really like to do. And I think that that's such a huge part that I think everybody should do. How often do we as parents put ourselves aside for our own kids, and that's when we kind of lose it?
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
before you had kids, you were going to school, you were doing this and that and this and that, and that's usually, and then you stay at home, and then your life becomes your children, and you kind of give yourself away, and then you get back to being an empty nester alone, and you're like,
oh,
there's no sports to go to, there's no schooling events to go to, you're no longer PTA doing this and that, your roles are, you're no longer needing to fix meals.
Right. Right.
So all of a sudden, it's kind of like you haven't reestablished maybe a new normal for yourself.
Right.
So you're still living kind of in this world of food emotionally. It's kind of the same thing. We've kind of taken a lot of what you used to do, and it doesn't really apply anymore.
Right. It doesn't apply.
Mm-mm. And so you need to kind of start anew.
Okay. Well, I can do that. I actually have stuff I love to do. I mean, I'm already teaching my class. I have a client that comes on Thursdays, and I'm now going to start my laughter yoga again. So it's like, okay, and there's preparation for that I actually love to do. That's what you do. That's what we do in class. It's like. And I have to get ready because we're doing a training. It's just like, oh, that's right, I'm doing a training in May. It's like, oh, I got to get ready for that.
I would have so much fun with that.
This weekend's an event at Eden Prairie Center. I'm doing send-out cards for 3 days. So that'll be easy because I'm at an event. I won't...
Oh, so you're probably going to have a kick-ass... You won't eat this week.
Right.
It'll
be easy.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the weeks you have downtime. It's the quiet moments. Yeah. First of all, you need to kind of be aware that it's occurring.
Yeah.
I think some of what you're saying is you weren't aware it was happening.
No, and some of it I was aware because I was like going, I'm putting myself into that, situation.
Yes.
But then, see, like last night,
it's passive. It's just
didn't occur to me. I was like, I don't understand what I just did.
Yeah. Well, and you have to pick it apart to really get, what's the feeling? How did I get there? Yeah. And honestly, I think it's as simple as downtime.
Yeah. Yeah. It is my downtime.
Yeah.
That is the deal. So.
You know what? I had a difficult time with that, finishing the book. Because I had no downtime at all. Every ounce of energy was going into writing that book. Every 10 minutes I had. And as soon as I've been done, and then I haven't been writing blogs, and I've noticed that myself, where I'm not writing anymore, and I'm now in the process of, well, if I don't have writing to do, I'm thinking about what I'm going to write about.
Oh.
Okay. And I've had to slow down and say, hey, look, my kids, I don't have to fill every squeaky minute of my life with this. And what would I do if I had never written the book or never started? What would be my things to do? It's really about balance.
Right.
And it's like, if you take that pie chart and we just took up a huge amount of time and energy and space that food fulfilled, it's still empty.
Right. Absolutely.
And
it's still empty.
Exactly. And I think for you, it just, some of that needs to be... You need to be proactive about filling it with things that aren't going to sabotage your health.
Right, right. Well, and like last night, Rob and I got home, and then he goes, I'm going to go for a walk. Do you want to go with me? And I'm like, no. I thought, really? I really could have gone with him.
The funny thing is, if you had gone with him, you would have been like, oh, this was so easy. Why don't we do this more often?
Exactly.
It's just a matter of getting into the habit of it. Were you feeling tired hormonally? You know that hormonal, I don't want to move.
Yeah, I do. This week has been kind of like that. There's been just like kind of periods of...
I don't want to move.
Yeah, like, oh, please don't talk to me. I'm just exhausted.
Okay.
And then the next day...
There's no reason for the exhaustion. It's just, okay, that sounds like adrenals. Okay. And I wonder if the moment you are eating without hunger for those reasons, that's causing this kind of wave.
Okay.
I don't know. Try to log if you can, or just think back to the days that you felt that way, and did they correlate with days that you did eat emotionally? Okay. Just to see if that is a byproduct, or if it's... So that when you do...
It probably is, because it seems like it's like... Yeah. I'd have to log it from now. I can't tell from...
Okay,
like,
just from
last week.
memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that would be easy to log for me. Like if it's like, oh, I ate that. Now let's see what tomorrow.
Or the evening, or what time and what occurs. How's your sleep right now?
No, sleep's still good.
Okay, that's great news.
Yeah.
So
So
would you say, all in all, when you do eat emotionally, passively for downtime,
mm-hmm.
as well as the moments you're like, I've earned this, damn it, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Would you say you're eating less when you do eat?
Oh, yeah. A lot less. Oh, my God. I was, like, stunned as to how much less I eat. And the fact that I go, wow. See, okay, 2 pieces of pizza, I could eat the whole pizza before. The entire pizza. All of it. And probably lick the cardboard. I mean, seriously, like that. And I would have a snack before.
I wonder, seriously, if you're not, so would you be surprised if we did your measurements today if you didn't lose weight?
I would be surprised if I didn't lose weight, yes.
Okay, because you are still, although you know there's times consistently where you are definitely going against the body.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But relative to what it was like prior to, you would be on a diet.
Right.
Or this is eating less than what you would have been on a diet.
Yes, this is eating way less than I would have.
Okay, when I'm done, we're going to do your measurements.
Okay. Because, no matter what, even if I had eaten stuff I wasn't supposed to, I still don't eat as much as, I just haven't, as what I used to eat.
Yeah, Lisa, you're doing so much better. I mean, not that it's, you understand like I do. Ultimately, you really, to detach from food completely, it's just a no-brainer what's going to happen to the body. And the moment you have the times that you're excessively hungry, it's definitely as detrimental as it was before, but thank God it's not like it was where you're numb.
Right.
That emotional numb, eat the whole thing, and justify it all, and just go to bed.
Right. Right, which is exactly.
And take some Tums, and take this medication and this medication.
Yeah, make sure in the morning then, because I ate all that salty stuff, that I take my blood pressure medication.
That's right.
Because we don't want to die.
Don't forget your insulin injection.
Yeah, it's like,
that you're gonna.
No, and actually, I even my blood pressure I think is better.
I believe it.
Although I do still find that I like salt, like. Every once in a while, I just get like kind of crazed with that. Mm-hmm. Although yesterday was mainly like I think I've never peed so much in my life. I was like going, I'm like peeing every hour on the hour, and
you don't have like a bladder issue.
No,
or anything?
And I was like, I wonder what that all is. I mean, I drink a lot of water, no doubt.
Okay.
I do. I'm a big water drinker.
You definitely flushed a lot more.
Yeah, but then yesterday was like, okay. I was like, all right, I guess that's
Were
good.
you drinking fluid while everybody was there just to kind of keep yourself busy because you weren't eating?
I was actually very thirsty yesterday.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if...
And I drank a lot of water yesterday, and no alcohol. I didn't drink any alcohol, but... a lot of water while I was at Easter. I don't know. It seemed like I was thirsty. Now, it's not quite like that today.
Sure. Do you eat breakfast? Are you hungry in the mornings?
Not until after 10 if I get hungry.
So do you wake up, have coffee, and then eat around 10, and then...
Yeah.
So day to day at this point, your body's pretty consistent with hunger. It's more rhythmic.
During the week... I barely eat at 10 even. I'm usually not hungry at all. I have coffee. Well, I was having tea.
Okay.
So I drink coffee since I'm off the protocol.
You put cream in it?
I do.
Okay.
So, I do that. I have a cup of coffee in the morning when I feed the dog. And then I'm like, okay. Now today, though, I did find I was like going... I'm kind of hungry. It's somewhere between 10 and 11. I can get hungry. And then I would have like an apple or an orange or turkey jerky.
Sure.
And
you're still eating that protocol food?
Yeah.
Oh, you need to get, like...
Well, I mean, it's...
But you like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like... And it's convenient for me to take to work.
Okay.
So that was okay.
So then when you actually eat...
I did my last shot on Saturday.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you were on...
No.
Oh, my God. I'm so off.
No. I did my last shot on Saturday.
Okay.
So it's only yesterday
Oh, God.
and
So
today.
you're still not that hungry. Okay.
No, I'm not that hungry. Because... I know by the end of when I was on vacation.
I think that's where I'm all messed up.
Yeah, and I was hungry. I was like, well, yeah, I can still tell that I'm hungry.
All right.
But now, no, I'm still not very hungry.
Peeing, by the way, it's normal.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
Okay, so
I thought you were like on third week of second phase for some reason.
No.
Like you're still eating protocol food?
Yes, I'm still eating protocol food.
Because you're still on the protocol.
I had soup today for lunch. I had some
cabbage?
Yeah.
Turkey, an apple?
Turkey. Yeah. So that, I was like, and really, that was fine.
I wonder you had a stomach ache with the pizza.
Oh my God, and it was bad. And I was like, holy crap. It was bad. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I ate that and my stomach hurts as bad. And see, I love pizza. I think pizza is the best food on earth.
I do. I think it's delicious too. However, when you're like haven't had fats,
and then I just shoved
your pancreas and your gallbladder went like this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my God, Lisa, I'm so sorry. I seriously thought you were like...
No, and this morning I was in the bathroom
making
like
sense now.
Yeah, a crazy person. I was like, okay,
and you're
not doing
probably
that again.
really bloated today.
A little bit. Yeah, well...
Okay,
so here... I ring off, so I'm pretty good.
You're still doing good. Okay, so here's the deal. We gotta limit that.
Okay. You think? I actually know, like, I don't actually need to eat that right now. Like, I get that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, I just don't need to eat that right now. I can have some later.
I know. Like in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
I know.
Or, later than that even. It just, like, I'm like going, really? It wasn't super fabulous.
Yeah, it wasn't even worth it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you were super pissed off last night with the pain. You're like, what the hell was I thinking?
This is so dumb.
I know. Good. Oh, I'm so glad you had that experience because really it makes you think, why would I do that again?
Exactly.
Now I see why you looked at me all weird and I was like, have a pizza night again.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, are you kidding? That'll hurt my stomach. So no, I'm not doing that, by the way. I'll go home and have, I made some chicken. I can do some chicken.
Okay, well the good news is that tomorrow will be your first day on second phase, right?
Okay. Yes.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
yes.
Tomorrow. So you can add cheese, eggs.
Yes.
You can have nuts. You can add those fats back slowly.
Yes.
And, yes.
Yes. Slowly, I will add those back in.
Do me and your body a favor.
Yeah.
Do not have any sugar.
Yeah.
Or starches in the next 3 weeks because whatever you have lost, I would like it to stick.
Yeah, me too. Me too, actually.
So you have to be cautious because your fat cells, there's residual. They've been stimulated for...
Oh, sure.
And there's going to be hypersensitive for the next 3 weeks. Okay. It really takes your body some time before it's not as sensitive. So you just have to be aware that, whatever's occurred, we need it to stick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to email you kind of a video I've done on the second phase transition. And when you have time, did I send something?
Well, you did. You sent me 2 before.
Did you watch those?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've watched it.
Yeah.
So the hunger scale and how this works in transition.
Yes, the hunger scale. Because, I do pay attention to that. It made a lot of sense to me that I was like going, I get, and just to be aware when I'm hungry. So it's like, okay, well, I can do that. I can still do that. Mm-hmm.
You're going to continue. Yeah. That's the foundation of how you're supposed to be eating forever, Lisa.
Yes. And I get that. Like, I'm like going, I can do that forever.
That's the goal.
Because it's not...
It's not rocket science.
No, and it's not constricting me in any way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel deprived.
Yes. I totally get that.
Ever. I was going, I don't ever feel deprived. That's kind of weird.
Well, and the beauty of it is that it makes your emotional moments obvious to you.
Yes.
And if it's obvious to you, that is the beginning of the end of it, because then you'll realize what is this for.
What am I doing this for?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh my God, seriously.
So, yeah. So, better week, and yeah.
You know, it's just a filter. I like to see it's like filtering out. We've filtered out some big boulders.
Absolutely.
I know it. And they're gone. It's over with. And so now you get to see what's left. Yes. You know, and then you filter it out again. And you're not done. I mean, the process of learning continues through the second phase. Yeah. And then there's getting you back in reality. And there's seriously...
Oh, good reality.
Where it's like, bring the chips in, but we strategize. I mean, it's not just one of those things that I just say, okay, now go. I mean,
here you go.
Strategize this process.
I have Easter candy at my house. Easter candy. I love Easter candy.
It's not your thing. It's the chips.
It isn't my thing. Like, I made little buckets and a big bunny. I love chocolate, though. I love a good piece of chocolate. Like, But I was like, yeah, I just don't really need to eat. I was like going, I don't need that. Huh, that is weird. And I thought, well, how weird that is, but if it was,
Before, would you have eaten it?
Oh, yes.
Just because it was Easter?
Well, I would have bought the stuff to put in the buckets, and then I would have bought for me.
Which is much nicer and better chocolate. And yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Hey, I do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I have one little piece and I'm hungry. Like
yesterday, I would have a whole bag.
I love the white chocolate.
Oh, really?
Really good white chocolate. I love really dark chocolate, too. Don't get me wrong, but yesterday I had one of those little... But I get excited because I save it.
Oh.
Like in the afternoon, I'm like, I'm going to save this. And I get excited for when I'm hungry, and it's like, I open it up. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, usually my
and my kids come by, can I have some? No, it's mine. And they're like, you're so mean. No, I'm not.
I get one freaking piece, man. It's mine.
And I'm hungry.
Yeah, and I'm hungry right now, and I'm eating it.
I know, and I bought these just for me, and this is good chocolate. You can deal with M&Ms.
Yeah, exactly. See, I won't eat M&Ms. Like,
it's not worth it.
Ever. I was like, what?
It's like the hazelnuts, like those yummy, I don't know. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with liking the taste of food.
Yeah,
you just eat it when you're freaking hungry.
Yeah, I do like the taste of food. I thought I like food. There's stuff that I really, really like.
I know.
And I was like,
like the pizza, was that worth it?
No.
I know. See,
it should have been really good pizza.
Yeah, but even then, the decision to eat it had nothing to do with being good pizza.
If I'm going to eat pizza, it's got to be really super good.
That's
pizza.
When you're functional.
Yeah.
When you're not functional.
I was like going, that's not what happened last night.
No, when I was in the depths of my disorder, I would go to the gas station.
Oh, God.
And get gas station pastries.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did.
I have done that before.
Do you want to know why? I came to realize it's because when I was a little kid and we'd go to the store with my mom, we were so freaking poor.
You couldn't have
Never. And it was just one of those things that I'd be like, because I was hungry.
Yeah, like, but please.
Yes, and my mom, and they were very healthy. We did, but I kind of made that connection. It's like, oh, no wonder I went to the gas station pastries that have like a shelf life of months on end.
And I get that I eat like the stuff that I think is comforting and yummy, like the potato chips and the potato. I like potatoes, and I like that comforting taste of that.
Fatty, crunchy, salty.
I like all that. And I realized that when I was growing up, sitting at the table, I always got the food last, and my brothers ate it all.
Oh, and they would take
all of
huge
it.
amounts of that type of stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was like, there's not enough food for me. So if I had something, I ate it all.
And by God, you're entitled to it, damn it.
Exactly. And I was like, well,
that's
that's not serving me very well right now.
Well, because it's not still occurring.
No one's ever going to take it away from me because I look like a pit bull when they get near my food.
Like me and my chocolate.
Yeah, it's like,
don't touch my chocolate. All right.
So that was, and I've realized that. It's like, well, yeah, because I never thought, and it was never true. I always had enough to eat. I did. Mm-hmm. You know, like.
But sometimes it's like the idea of being deprived. It's like,
it's like, well, wait a minute. I could never get seconds.
No, because they always took it like a bunch of hyenas.
Gone.
That's how it was for me.
So gone.
So even if you were hungry, it's the idea that you can't be hungry.
Yeah.
I know it. I have a lot of patients come in here whose parents, maybe they weren't poor, but they were like
frugal.
Not even just frugal. They were addicted to rules themselves. And they grew up with houses that bad food, you can't have it. And they'd go to friends' house who had that food and binge.
Yeah.
Not because they had an emotional eating disorder, but because they felt deprived from choice and the guilt involved with eating it. That they felt like, if I'm going to get it at my friend's house, I might as well. And the poor parents at the house, what happened to the graham crackers?
It's like, oh, I can't get these at my house.
I know it. I buy crap food for my kids on purpose sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, I just want you to be normal so that when you go to a friend's house and they have all this food, that you don't feel that you need to eat.
Yeah. My son eats like a normal person.
Because you did a good job
to
compensate from yourself.
Yeah, if he wanted to eat something, I'm like, okay, we'll get that. Okay, I can make that for you. You know, well, he ate hot dogs for a year. Like, all right. And then he got sick of them.
Yeah,
and I was like, all right. And then he stopped.
I know.
I was like, okay. It was like his pacifier. He had his pacifier for a while. And then my mom would be like, you need to take that away from him. And I'm like, I am not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
He will drop it one day and he will never pick it up.
And he did.
And that's exactly what happened. And I was like, I'm not doing that to him.
So I wonder if, you know, your mom kind of always going...
Oh, my mom used to, yeah, she was... And I love and adore my mother.
I know that. But
yes,
there's some quote-unquote hoarding issues for you.
It's like, come on, just give me the food. Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Well, all in all, every week I feel like you're just getting closer and closer and closer, Lisa. And I have a feeling that once we get you off of this first phase and into reality, honestly, you're gonna freaking kick ass.
I hope so. Because I am a little scared of it.
Normal.
I'm like, I'm a little afraid of this a little bit. And, you know, Mexico was different because I was like, I'm going on vacation. That's different. Like, to me in my head.
I don't want you to feel that way because this is no different. The only difference is no sugar, no starch, no bread, no crackers, no...
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's the only difference. But you need to approach it exactly how you did. If you're hungry, eat.
Yeah.
If you're not hungry, wait till you are hungry.
Right. It's just like, oh, well, I get to have that. And it's like, okay, well, I can have it when I'm hungry. Okay.
And that is the case.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time.
It is. And I just think this is going to be a big step for you because if you actually do this and this works, Lisa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
You really are going to have to deal with a thinner body.
Yes.
You're going to have to recreate the new
yes.
idea of who you are.
Yes.
You know, I talk about this with if your identity in any way has been evolved around you being overweight,
mm-hmm.
how much of your personality, how much of your identity would not be authentic if you lost weight?
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you need to visualize.
I don't know that yet.
Well, I think you don't have to wait. You can actually kind of think in your head, like, what a part of your personality would be any different. And it may not be.
Yeah.
But sometimes when people get to where they're losing weight, they'll sabotage because they are afraid of losing a false front that requires obesity.
Yeah. Well, and I find, like, I think, oh, well, since I'm heavy, I don't, like, I go sit in my family room and watch television. I mean, like, because I don't, it's like, I do enough to get by, and, and I have my friends, and and everybody's very supportive. But it's like,